Hey guys, listen up. I'm going to talk to you about heroin. You really don't need me to spend a lot of time telling you that we have a heroin problem, not only in the United States, but right here in Winston-Salem. From the coroner, at Baptist, at the morgue, in 2010 in Winston-Salem, we lost one person every other month to a heroin overdose. 5 years later, we were losing one person per week, and by today, it's at least one person per day right here in Winston-Salem dying from a heroin overdose. But you don't really need me to tell you that we have a heroin problem. A lot of people keep getting together to discuss that fact, but we know that. Here's what they don't know. 80% of active heroin users are getting there off of legal, legitimate prescription medication. 4 out of every 5 heroin users got there out of their doctor's office. That means that 80% of this problem is really easy to solve. We're going to get together and we're going to warn each other how not to get addicted. Because if you don't get addicted, we don't have a heroin crisis. Here's what I'm talking about. If you or someone you know has a wisdom tooth pulled, gets in a car accident, breaks a bone, slips a disc, gets hurt at work, has a bad back, or is waiting for replacement surgery, knee replacement, hip replacement, whatever, their doctor is almost guaranteed to prescribe them at least 30 of a highly addictive prescription pain medication. Usually, those medications are something like Oxy, Hydro, Dilaudid, Vicodin, and Percocet. Those are highly addictive medications. What they don't tell you is that those meds don't work like antibiotics. An antibiotic, you've got to take the whole thing, or else you're not going to get rid of your strep throat or your bacterial infection. These are the opposite. If you take all 30 of your Dilaudid, by the end of 30, you will be addicted to your Dilaudid. If you take all 30 or 60 or 90 of your Oxy while you're waiting for your replacement surgery, by the end of that, you will be addicted to those pills. If you're on those right now and you want to know if you're addicted, don't take it. One day, just don't take it. If you start to feel really sick, maybe nauseous, maybe you get a headache, maybe you sweat, maybe you gag, maybe your stomach really hurts, that's addiction. If you are in that place, you need to cut it now. Cut it. Give those pills back to your doctor, back to the pharmacist, give them to the sheriff, give them to a cop. There's a drop box downtown outside the police department in Winston-Salem. There's another drop box outside the police department in Kernersville. You need to buckle up for a really bad weekend because you're going to be awfully sick, but you're going to spare yourself an even worse fate. What happens when you stay on your pills that your doctor gave you, that were legitimately prescribed, is that your brain chemistry starts to rewire, and your entire survival instinct turns upside down. Right now, not addicted, you and me, we have a survival instinct that tells us, stay away from heroin because it will kill you. But when you start getting addicted to these pills, it turns upside down. And when you're good and addicted, your survival instinct tells you, if you don't get your fix, you will die. And it leads you down a path right to death and destruction. Here's another thing that you need to know. Addiction to these pills starts at the 5th pill. 5. If you're sent home with 30 and addiction starts with 5, now you know where you absolutely need to stop. Here's the point. If you share this message with the people that you know, with the people that you meet, with the people that you love, with people who are absolute complete strangers in your life, then we can make people aware that 4 out of every 5 heroin addicts, 80%, are getting there from prescription medications. And avoiding getting addicted to prescription medications is actually really easy. 80% of this problem is actually fairly simple to solve if we just work together and open our mouths. Tell the people you love, hey man, I noticed you broke your leg. I know you slipped a disc. I heard you got hurt at work. Be really careful with those pain meds. Addiction starts at the 5th pill. Your voice might be the one in somebody's head on pill 6 saying, addiction starts at 5. If you use your voice and open your mouth and share this message, we can bring these number of deaths way down. But at the point that you get to street heroin, and you will, because your survival instinct is on its head, you get to street heroin, your odds of survival plummet. They are pumping it full of carafentanyl. Carafentanyl is an elephant tranquilizer. A pin drop will kill you. It's 1,000 times more powerful than the heroin. When they try to bring you back with Narcan from the heroin overdose, the Narcan doesn't do anything for the carafentanyl overdose. So they bring you back from the overdose, and 2 hours later you die of respiratory distress from the carafentanyl. It's a deadly proposition, and by the time you get that far, your odds of survival are really low. And a lot of young people had to find that out the hard way. My goal is to make sure you don't get that far, to make sure that your family doesn't get that far, and your friends don't get that far, and the people you know don't get that far. Join with me. Fight the good fight. Open your mouths and warn the people you know, the people you meet, and the people you love that addiction to prescription pain meds starts on the 5th pill. Take one and be done. If we share this message with the people we know, the people we love, and the people we meet, we can end this epidemic, and we can bring these numbers way down. Guys, thanks.